Okay, here we are at the Web Summit in Doha, Qatar, and I've got the privilege of spending a little bit of time with Marlyson Silva, the former CEO, now the chairman of a Brazilian company called Transfero. I had the pleasure of being there in Rio in August of last year, and the chief of staff, Mauricio, showed me around, and I was so impressed with what Marlyson has built over the years. But what I like to do is just give you a bit of context. Obviously, some of you may know I used to work for the London Stock Exchange for 12 years in London. My initial exposure to digital assets was back in 2016. And then I went through that journey, personal journey. I got involved in the pilot in the London Stock Exchange to create a digital asset index back in 2019.
Really?
Yeah, which was launched in New York. Then I subsequently left London Stock Exchange at that time. So I've really been involved in education in digital assets and the need for better education and better exposure to building people's assets around the world and so forth. So what I like to do is just pass the mic over to Marlyson, who will give us a bit of background of his humble beginnings, and then and just kind of fill us in. I'll ask a couple of questions on their positioning with Transfero at this event and what their strategy is moving forward.
Okay. Thank you. My name is Marlyson. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Now people sees my company 160 people working, connecting more than 5 countries in our infrastructure. They don't see the guy that was a poor guy with several problems in my family and etc. They just see the moment. But my father was a military guy, a Navy guy. My mother was a housekeeper. Yeah, housekeeper. And she every time told me that I needed to study more because the son of this and that lady, they were studying more. So on Saturday, I was on the street, or on the field playing soccer, and the other guys were studying, according to her. And someday, I don't know, 12 years old, I comprehend this message and start to read more. So in my street, I was the only one reading books, trying to have my own computer. I started to working with when I was 14 years old. At 16, I was working for an electrical company as an office boy. In the office, I started to meet a lot of other guys with a better condition, and they were trying to enter in a university, and I was, why I never thought to enter in a university. So I started to think about this. So I studied a little bit, passed for one, and studied as a software engineer. So I became a software engineer, worked for several companies, and suddenly I knew the payment market. So I was amazed how the big brands they were printing money because they charge us a lot, but we don't perceive because we pay a little bit in every transaction. But millions and millions of people paying a little bit became billions and billions of dollars. So I was amazed by this industry, and I said, why not me? Why not me? So I created a project to be a payment gateway, accepting credit and Bitcoin. Very successful in 2015. In 2016, we started to win several prizes in Latin America, in Copenhagen. In 2017, we went to Switzerland. We incorporated a company there. In 2019, we were the first payment gateway in Latin America dealing with digital assets. We were the first Latin American company having a digital asset management firm. We have in 2019 the idea to create the first stablecoin, and became the first stablecoin not only in Brazil but in Latin America. And because the Swiss brand, we start to think about funds. So we create crypto funds through Bahamas, and now we have funds in Cayman as well. So Transfero became not only the payment gateway, but a whole ecosystem. After 10 years, we are still working as a bootstrap company. Everything that we gain, we need to decide where we will invest. We don't have fancy cars. We don't have fancy watches. We started to receive watches offers right now. Please use it. Actually, we are partner of a watch company. We are a partner of a watch company. They are building the watch, and we are a partner of that. Yeah.
Is it a Brazilian company?
It's a Brazilian company building, or I don't know the right word, but a Swiss machine with this brand. It's crazy for us, but it's okay. It's different. And the major point for me is how could we do more with less? So I'm a IT guy. I was shy until a certain point. I need to do some kind of communication mentoring. So I have several processors, and the education changed my life. So if you are thinking about, okay, crypto, blockchain, technology, blah, 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 no. You need to know, because if you study more AI, blockchain, payments, and the global market, maybe you can create something so great and establish your company in other countries. So try it.
Okay, it's fantastic. That journey. I mean, your journey is similar to mine. I'm a product of immigrants into the UK. My mum's 80, and she came to the UK in the 60s. And education within our culture, the Ghanaian culture, is very important. But as a young guy, I wanted to be a sports guy, a footballer, a runner, and we have that in our family anyway. But one thing I realized is that with you, I want to ask you a question, Marlyson, yeah? When you talk about educating yourself through the normal education system, what I think is what happened for you is your belief system changed when you got exposed to something that's much greater than you realize. So can you just tell us the process that you went through on your belief system? That'd be great.
Okay. One thing that I tell to everyone is that my mind it's bad because Hollywood. I started to dream Hollywood. Yeah, I started to dream with the American dream. Okay. How to have this house with this fence, white fence, with this garden, and etc. And I started to ask me how. So to have a good salary, I need to be a good professional. I need to learn more than others, and you cannot think about this every day, but we know that black people, we cannot have everything that we want to have. We need to be so good in something. We need to be the best of our partners, and we can maybe be recognized.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm here as a speaker in this event, searching for other black guy, because you have a lot of Asian, you have a lot of German, Americans, Europeans, but the real black guys with some kind of history, struggling times, problems in his family, 1, 2, or 3, and you cannot find it so easy. So the big change for me, it was when I started to ask some dumb questions and try to answer each one of them. And education was the only way to cross this bridge between what I want to have and what I had. So, okay. For example, I had this dream to have this one specific car, one specific salary, and one specific kind of house. It was this. And at certain point, I discovered that I surpassed my first wish, because
So you had that goal of, you had that goal of earning a particular salary or income,
yeah.
and then you surpassed it, that income just by the activity you was doing.
Yeah, because as I'm keeping asking those things, I'm different in my environment. So the people start to came to me and say, "Hey, Marlyson, can you help me here or what?" And I usually have 2 or 3 visions totally different from the group.
Okay.
And this kind of creativity we have as people. We have this struggling time for all our lives, and we can think more about the real problems. So inside those companies, I was the creative guy to provide solution for the normal problems. So I started to grow very, very fast in the market. And when I start to think about my dreams, every year I have a new book to write, and I see, what the hell, I achieved this, I achieved this, I achieved it. What will be the next year? So I started to put more challenges to be surpassed, and the goal is find the right question, find the best way to answer that, and study more.
Well, that's awesome. People pay a lot of money just to understand that process. Anthony Robbins, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, the book.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's all about actually setting the goal, and then challenging yourself to become that person to achieve that goal. And that's what I did as well. I traveled the world as an engineer.
Oh.
Yeah, I was an engineer. I was in Spain. I was everywhere, Canada. But what I didn't have was a mentor or someone I can follow. And to me, Marlyson, you're that guy.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Only because not because he's here, no, but I did go to Rio to see him. But what it is that the belief that I have of what I can do. I mean, the CEO of my company, she's a Haitian American, young lady. She used to work for IBM, amazing woman. But she has the same type of energy and vision that you have. And and she's achieving, but she's attracted the right people into her sphere. So I really appreciate that. And in Brazil, there's a very big population of Afro-Brazilians. Very big. I think even half the population is Afro-Brazilian.
Yeah, probably.
But the system they have there, from first-hand experience, my partner, she's from Brazil, is that the belief of being able to surpass their environment is one of low belief. And I think now we're at the turning point, inflection point of information is there, the tools are there now, and how they can actually position themselves in a way that is 25 years ago wasn't possible. Can you just talk a little bit on that as well?
The Brazilian people has the same problem as the Argentinians, the Venezuelans, the Cubans, because our culture, our governors, they put something in our mind. It's the same as the Africans. It's almost this. You were born to do this and be happy. That's it. And when you think that everything is possible, you can believe in more. And for me, I didn't have any kind of not only the mentor but the reference. We lack of reference, and this put this belief so much difficult to believe that okay, it's possible to do this and go there. For example, an African young guy maybe can see, okay, it's impossible to go to London. No, man, you have the reference here. A Brazilian little guy can see, okay, it's impossible to travel the world and to become a speaker. No, I'm the reference. But 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it was not possible because we didn't have. In Brazil, we have only one major reference, soccer. You have Neymar right now, and we have the olders, Pelé, Ronaldo Fenomeno, we have Ronaldinho Gaúcho.
Yeah.
But the football is one field that we can, okay, I'm a good soccer player, maybe I can become professional, but 95% of everyone of the athletes, they will not become professionals. What they will do after not became professionals, if they don't have the proper education to build their careers or create new companies. This is the major problem. Everyone needs to believe that it's possible. Now we have information, we have access. It's easier now to read books on internet. We have GPT or Gemini to help us to change our mind. We can talk with them as a person and ask them real, profound questions, and you can find some answers on how we are feeling about our ancestors, why happened with our fathers, our parents. So it's easier right now. So it's easy to understand why we think as we think and how to change this. So it's possible.
Yes, that's profound, man. It's profound. I mean, I was at the Google stand here, and they were showing the Google Studio and all the tools with Google, and you'd be amazed. You can have a commercial grade application, enterprise grade, or a mobile app within a day.
Yeah.
Within a day, and the tools are there. And one of the things that you said, Marlyson, is that the time is the effort. You mentioned about your son. He's had a different life to you.
Yeah.
My sons have a different life to me. But one of the things is going to happen is the acceleration over the next 5 years. If we're not ready for it, as individuals, as a community, as whether you're black, white, or Arab, or wherever you're from, if you're not ready for this shift, then you're going to be left behind, and the outcome is not going to be great. And I just want you to touch on that before I'm going to ask you a question about the future of Transfero and what Transfero are doing.
I'm the chairman right now. Maybe tomorrow I cannot be anymore. I can be another thing. But the point is, when I see the future, I see technology, I see AI, I see energy problems, I see lack of education. So we are the product for those big companies, TikTok, Google, Meta. We are the product. They want to reach us as the users to be almost hypnotized by their technology. That's it. So what we need to do, we need to understand how their technology works, how to use it properly to our own behalf. We will keep being the product from them, but we will establish some limits. For example, if I have a young guy spending more than 10 hours a day in TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook together, he is not studying, he's not reading, he's not growing, he's not improving. So what we need to do at least is to study 10 minutes per day, one new thing, 10 minutes per day. It's not an impossible task. So if you start to study 10 minutes per day, blockchain, in 1 year, you will be part of the 5% of most intelligent people in this field. 10 minutes per day during 1 year, you will be part of 5% at least of the professionals of this field. What happens? The people hear some podcasts, read one book, and say, okay, I'm a specialist. No, man, 10 minutes, pill by pill, time by time, step by step. You need to run to be well educated in the basic math, grammar, and a little bit of business, entrepreneurship, commercial. You need to be a seller. I took 40 years to learn this, but you need to be a seller. But the major point is we already have a gap. We need to fulfill this gap, and we need to run. Math, I don't know, software engineering, you need to be a seller, and you need to to know a little bit about the global financial moment, okay? Knowing this, you can pick any kind of new technology, and 10 minutes a day before you sleep or during your lunchtime, you will be a specialist at the end of the year.
I mean, it's not new. Repetition, consistency over time builds momentum. Yeah, but it's just that I think there's a lot of distractions out there. That's why people get lost in the year goes by and they haven't learned nothing or achieved their goals. Thank you for that. But one of the things that I want to ask you as well is, I know obviously Transfero is in Qatar.
Yeah.
It's going to be global. There's maybe some things that need to change on the regulatory side for certain markets. But one of the things that I did research is the liquidity of stable coins. I missed your talk, sorry, today. But if you could talk about what stable coins mean, the liquidity factor within the global financial market, and how Transfero is filling that gap.
Okay. What is stablecoin? Stablecoin, it's a digital representation of one local currency. For example, we created the BRZ, the Brazilian stablecoin, pegged one by one against the Brazilian reais. This means that each Brazilian reais in my bank account turns to be a BRZ on the blockchain. So imagine you having this project in Brazil, and we have Tether holding US dollars. So we can exchange BRZ by Tether using blockchain. This means that we are exchanging Brazilian reais to dollar. This is the concept. But behind the scenes, we have the Brazilian reais in our bank account, and we have USD dollars, US dollars in another bank account in US. Sometimes those companies need to send a wire transfer to pay for the other currency. My company send wire transfer, a SWIFT transfer, to buy dollars. Sometimes I need to send dollars to buy those BRZs that I had sold to another company. So this is just one new technology to move money faster comparing with the traditional rails. Another thing is that it's easier to have a crypto wallet in your smartphone than to open a new bank account. So you can use this new technology, these new benefits to be, how can I say, stablecoin, crypto, this ecosystem can deliver freedom to your finance. But you need to study because we have a lot of scams. So stablecoin, depending on the company, if you trust that company, they are holding the same amount of money in some bank account or bonds or anything that the financial market understands. So right now we have more than 300 billion in stablecoins. Yeah, okay. USD, BRZ, USDT, BRZ, and a bunch of others. We have, I think, $300 billion running by stablecoins right now. We can exchange, for example, Brazilian reais into Argentinian pesos, Chilean pesos, US dollars, euros. Now I think Hong Kong finished the project. We have the Hong Kong digital dollar right now. Okay. Yeah. So we will see a lot of changes in next years, and you need to be ready because, in other words, or you can control your money, or someone else will control it for you.
Wow, that's so true. And just a thought. Okay, imagine. And I'll give sort of a picture view of what Marlyson just said. Say I'm someone in the Philippines who doesn't earn much money, but I have a wallet, and I have my US dollar, and then I have access to the global market. If I'm someone in Ghana who has Ghanaian cedis, and then I want to buy US dollar, I have a wallet. Yeah, and someone in Brazil and Salvador, to say, because Salvador is my city, I I have a wallet and I have BRZ. I can exchange the value instantly with my mobile phone. Yeah. And that creates an opportunity where you can not only buy assets, but you're able to trade goods and services. Now, from a business perspective, to settle transactions in a traditional way is very, very expensive and difficult. That's why Nigeria is the biggest market for stablecoins in Africa. The government has no visibility on the volume. But what you're seeing is a flight to independence, and that starts with being able to just to make the first move, but also educate yourself to a point where you're able to not only generate a have-to asset, but to increase wealth.
Yeah.
And so if you could talk about that, what you're doing educational-wise, and how people can access it.
Once you start to understand more about this market, what happens? You understand more about your own economy than the others. For example, in Brazil, the interest rates, it's around 15% per year. 15% per year. Because these Brazilians, they don't need to buy dollars to generate wealth for them. They can keep this money in Brazil, and after 1 year, they will have 15% more. This is one thing nowadays, okay? But when we fly to another country, they have 2% per year, 0.5% per year, or minus 1% per year. And what we deliver to the world. Imagine that you can buy a token representing Brazilian reais and invest in a product tokenized and receiving those yields every month. In other words, if you have, let's say, South Africa rents, and in South Africa the interest rates it's 1% per year, you say, it's a shit investment for me. If you send to me Rand becoming the stablecoin for South Africa, I forgot the name, exchange for BRZ, and say, hey Transfero, I have BRZ, and I want to put this in an investment in Brazil. After 30 days, depending on the market, I will deliver to you that amount plus 1%. You have 1 year of investment in 30 days. So when you keep studying more, you will see that Brazil has one interest rate, Argentina another one, Chile another one, US another one, Europe another one, and you can split your risk in certain countries, having access to these kind of interest rates, these products, and receiving more yields than you can have in your own country. For example, here in Qatar, some guy told me, okay, Marlyson, I'm living here, but every month I take my Qatar Real and I buy USDC because I need dollars. I don't need Qatar Real. Because he explained to me he has this product in US that is delivering between 5 and 10% per year.
Okay.
And to him, this is enough. The risk is it's on US market, not in Qatar Real.
Right, okay.
This is another point because as Middle East has this friction, China, Middle East, US, you need to decide where I will put my money.
Right.
In some place that can enter in a kind of sanction, or another place that the world sees that it's more secure.
Okay, yeah.
So you can learn more, but again, education. You need to enter study because if not, you will be pegged by a scammer and you will lose your money. So you need to understand what you are doing, having control of the situation, and find the proper companies spread on those places.
Wow, that's really, it's a good example. I mean, I have a Brazilian bank account, or 2 or 3. But what I realized is that if I had, say, £100,000, I could transfer that into BRZ, and then that could be invested, and I'll get that yield on a monthly or yearly basis. Do you know how many people that would do that if they knew that they can do it?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. And this is global. So just have a Transfero wallet, I think. Yeah, I don't, because I've done it. I've done it.
Yeah.
So somebody sent me some crypto and I converted it to BRZ and I sent it to my bank account. So just to prove the concept, to test it, I had to test it, that it worked. And you know, and when you think about it, you know, Transfero are bank grade operation. They're regulated. So you don't need to put your money in some of these liquidity pools or DeFi. I don't know what you call it sometimes, and then lose your money. So this is one of the things that we're going to bring to the community, to the world, on educating people. I think we're going to collaborate on some products. Yeah. You know. I think the translation is going from Portuguese to English, but a lot of it is being able to decipher, make that decision, and then act on that decision in a safe and controlled way.
Yeah.
And that's what Transfero offer. Okay.
My last words?
Yeah, last words. I want to pass it over.
One thing that I discovered is that as we suffer, or our families suffered a lot, we try to run to make more, to be rich. This is an illusion. You don't need to be rich to be happy. You don't need to be rich to change your life, because once you value more, you will receive more.
Okay.
So if you have some kind of degree, you just need to generate value by you to another people, and you will receive this new value to another one, from another one. So don't try to run. Keep your pace, because you are already better than your father. So my son, for example, he eats meat every day. He has his yogurt. He has his toys. And I had my struggling times with my family. My father, only struggling times. His father, my grandfather, only struggling times. I don't know you, but sometimes you don't perceive that you are more happy than your parents. And some guy says, okay, let's be rich with me, give me your money, and say, okay, I want to be rich.
Yeah.
No. Keep your pace. You will be rich, but be valuable before to become rich. This is more important, man.
Oh wow! Thank you. That's a wonderful. It's the last bit, and thank you very much, Marlyson. I really appreciate it, and so much value and so much nuggets to go. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Okay, thanks. Nice one. All right, thank you.